Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Ali Moreno with us here in the studio, as is Stewart Robson. Frank Leboeuf joins us as well. Thank you to everyone who sent me pictures of Frank playing in the Chelsea Legends game. Frank, they seem to think I care.
No, just for your pleasure, to show you that I still have the style, you know, because I know you were ready to jump on me like you do on Jan Fjotov, you know, running, you know, like...
to be fair.
Wait a second. If that's a standard, if Jan is a standard, then all of us can play.
Dear.
All of us can play.
Did you stay in London last night then, Frank? Did you out for a nice
That's
Chelsea Legends dinner?
We had a dinner the night before with the Bayern Munich former players as well. So
nice.
we had a very good time at the 1905 restaurant in Stamford Bridge.
All right.
And we had just a drink and some delicious pizza at the nightclub called Under the Bridge, just below Stamford Bridge.
Wow.
That was nice. Great weekend.
Wow, a lot of promotion there of the various eateries around Stamford Bridge.
It's a night dinner.
What about you, Robbo? What have you been doing for the international break?
Oh, I've had a nice little trip up to Norfolk, which for 4 or 5 days. Very pleasant. Nice walks along the beach and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, excellent.
Oh, nice. Very good.
You see those legs strolling the
Not with
beaches.
Archie.
Oh, no.
After that ding-dong in the show, that was
no.
awkward. Oh, dear.
You know what I sense is that this was tension that had been building up.
Oh, no, it just exploded.
and
over Kai Havertz.
then Stewie was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah, in case you missed it, be sure to check it out on YouTube.
Dan, just Dan. You know, I would have loved to talk to Archie about his comment about Kai Havertz, you know, scoring a goal in the Champions League, therefore saying that the guy is a wonderful player because he scored a goal in the Champions League. So it means that you can be average and be lucky to be in a club and score a goal in the Champions League, and then you can make a statement, you're a great player until the rest of your career.
I know.
That's fantastic. Coming from Archie, I'm very surprised.
It's like coming as a centre-back in a World Cup final because you've got no other options. You put in 90 minutes and then you live off that for the rest of your life.
That's exactly that, but, you know, except if you win 9 other titles after that.
I just want to remind everyone here that I do not pick these questions.
Okay.
Question for Robbo and Frank. Which one of you inspired the other's hairstyle? What can we do with that?
Well, I've got no choice. I'm not sure whether Frank's got a choice. All I could have is the bits around the side, so I have to shave it all off.
Yeah.
You know what? I trimmed in '93. My father thought I had a leukemia. I started to lose my hair, was 20 and a half. So I know I had no choice but choosing that fantastic things. And I was inspired by nobody, but I was forced. And I have to say that. And I said that yesterday to the two daughters, that Gianluca Vialli decided to trim my hair to make sure that I don't look stupid. So it's how I became that bald.
There we go. Well, there we are. What do you think of the current international break schedule? Instead of having 5 breaks per season, wouldn't it be better to have 2 breaks, 2 or 3 weeks long, so that it causes less disruption on the flow of the season? As a player, what would you have preferred, Frank?
Well, it's interesting because I think Arsene Wenger talked about that a little bit, but I would say yes, it's a good question, but what's going to happen if, you know, during that time of 3 weeks, you have like 2 or 3 players injured, and so you can't use them for qualification, and therefore maybe not getting qualified because you are missing like 2 or 3 important players. So that's I mean, it's hard to change everything. I never thought through about that. It's a good idea. It can be tried, but you know, it would be better to not do what we see right now. You know, knowing that every big team is going to be qualified because now you have like, I don't know, 40 teams qualified for European Championship or the World Cup, which means nothing. That makes the European Championship or the World Cup not being that interesting.
How do you fix it? Does it need fixing?
Well, it's an impossible question. It really is. And the players are in the middle of all of this. And
so are we.
Yeah, and people care about us, Dan. I know that they do. But in terms of the players, if you're a big timer, issues are different. But let me just, breaking news, I was not a big timer.
Okay.
Right? So it was important for me to be available to my teams in Major League Soccer.
Right.
And the season didn't stop. And so I found myself having to negotiate with general managers and coaches on my club team for essentially permission to go and play and represent my national team in World Cup qualifiers. Now, these are FIFA dates, and then you get into the situation in which clubs are required to let you go and that. But once they feel forced into doing something, guess who ends up sort of suffering the consequences of that? It's me. Because I'm the one that has to then answer to them when I come back. And those are the players and those are the situations that concern me. Not whether Messi's catching a private flight to go and play in Argentina and then private jet to come back. That's not the guy that is suffering. It's the middle of the pack guy that is suffering. And that's the guy who's sort of in between club and country. You want to do both, you want to please both, and at times you feel like you're straddling a fence and it's not a comfortable fence.
Yeah, Robbo, if you think you had 2 to 3 weeks, maybe you could open your wallet and go somewhere further than Norfolk.
Well, so the problem I had was not during the season. When you had the international breaks during the season, they were okay. The problem I had was at the end of the season when you'd worked really hard, you were looking forward to the end of the season, you might be carrying 1 or 2 injuries, then you get picked for the next squad, and you have to almost go immediately, and you're away for maybe 2.5 weeks. And that's where I got 2 of my worst injuries, because I needed the rest at the end of the season, and then I went and played football again for the national sides, and that was what caused me most problems. So it didn't work for me.
Frank, you often talk about Chelsea's warrior mentality that has gone from the current squad, yet it was clear in your game yesterday that the legends still have it. How can this current squad gain that mentality?
Well, it comes from the people that who can inspire you, and most of the people are the people we have experience. And if you are surrounded by those players who are 25, 27, 28, and they want something with maybe the national team, but also with their former club, they bring something to you, and you can rely on them. You're gonna learn, and you're gonna get inspired, and you're gonna get that experience that I'm talking about, and you get better. And the mentality and the energy you're gonna put on the field is gonna be at the max. Right now with Chelsea, I feel kids being lost because they don't have somebody to lead them to a different mentality. And that's what it is. We were 17 different nationalities when I signed for Chelsea, but most players were between, I would say, 26 and 32. Marcus, Gianfranco Zola, Luca Vialli, myself, we were over 28, and we helped the others to get bigger. I talk often to John Terry, and the help that he had for a little bit myself, but especially Marcel Desailly and his background was crucial. It was crucial for John Terry to get that mentality, even if he had already inside him the spirit of a warrior. But you have to develop those mentalities.
For Ali, would you accuse Spain and Barca of overworking their teenage players in recent years? Pedri, Ansu, Gavi, Lamine Yamal. Is it too much too early?
There's a fine balance here. If you have a guy like Lamine Yamal that you want to nurture, you want to take care of him because you have seen what has happened to Ansu Fati or the frailties of Pedri, and you're thinking, okay, all right, let's take our time with this guy. But if every time you put him on the field, he looks like the best player on the field, then how much patience are you supposed to have?
Yeah.
He looks ready now. Now, physically may not seem like he is, but he touches the ball and you kind of go, that's different. We don't have that on the field. None of the players that are here or the guys that are sitting over there are giving us what this guy's giving us. So you're a manager, you kind of go, we got to put him out there. He's part of the team, right? And while you sort of have to manage the minutes and then you have to sort of manage the expectations, it gets to a point that the talent is undeniable. In the case of Lamine Yamal, we're seeing it we're seeing a step-by-step progression of the talent being undeniable. So if I'm making the decisions in this club and I'm the coach of this team and this guy's going to help me win games, get out there, buddy, because you're doing something that nobody else in this team is doing. So therefore, help us win matches.
Which, of course, they did to Pedri when he came out, but now is he suffering the consequences, Robbo?
Yeah, and Gavi did the same. So they didn't learn their lesson with Pedri because they did the same with Gavi the next year. And I agree with that. You've got to give youngsters a chance. You've got to play them at the right time, but you also got to pull them out at the right time. If a young player plays 60, 70 games in a season and then he's out for 6 months, then you haven't managed him particularly well. If you give him 40 games a year and he still has an influence on the team and he stays fit and he has a couple of weeks off here and there, then that's good management and he's still developing as a player. You have to be very careful with young players, as I know myself.
Here we go then, Frank. Start, bench and drop the greatest French players in the Premier League history edition. Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira and Eric Cantona. Everyone is in their prime.
Oh my God. My God. I mean, everybody will think that the Cantona and Henry will be before Vieira because, you know, we pay attention to strikers, scorers, players who make history, that's for sure. But I'm going to be against that, and I will have to put Patrick Vieira. What he created for Arsenal, pairing with Emmanuel Petit, but I don't forget Ray Parlour as well in the middle of the park, and Bergkamp in front was absolutely fantastic. I remember playing against Arsenal. When you see that huge guy in the middle of the park, you know, knowing everything about football, feeling everything about football, tactically prepared, physically a monster, you say, wow, this is going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare. And I know that he was the nicest guy ever out of the field and a warrior on the field. And it was impossible to take him on. So I want to put him first. Then, oh my God, it's hard. It's hard because they created on their own history. What Cantona did with Manchester United when he came back from his ban and had 14 points, they were 14 points behind Newcastle, and because he was scoring 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, and they won the Premier League, that was something. So, oh my God, I will put Cantona because of that, but I don't forget that Thierry Henry was exceptional for the Gunners.
Wow. Wow. French press are going to have a field day, Frank.
Controversy.
Robbo, where would you go on that list?
Controversy, those questions.
I'm absolutely with Frank 100%. You
Really?
know, you've got to have the biggest player who dominated the games, that had the biggest effect on matches, and that was Vieira. He dominated the midfield for Arsenal along with Emmanuel Petit, but without him, they wouldn't have been the side they were. Of course, Henry was brilliant, but I put Eric Cantona because he made such a statement when he came to Manchester United after his little spell at Leeds, when they did well with him there. So Eric Cantona, and lastly Thierry Henry, although, of course, he scored all those goals and was a great player.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's scored all those goals. Yeah.
Hey, good goal, Thierry.
Yeah, well
nice. Hey, thanks for coming.
Wow.
That you both so unfair because you know it's a lose-lose situation for Robbo and I. We can't win those questions.
Well, it depends what your answer is. If it's right or wrong. If it's wrong.
Okay. If I say Thierry Henry and Vieira and I put Cantona the last, you go, oh my God, it's because you hate Manchester United. If I put Cantona and Henry and Vieira at the back, because you don't like midfielders. You always have an answer. Come on, I know you, Dan Thomas.
Well, you seem to be having a conversation with yourself here,
I know.
Frank.
The monologue. It's a monologue.
I don't need to do the show. I just wander off. Where would you have those three?
Well,
let's see.
Let's see. I'm going to go start, Henry. Bench, Cantona. Drop, Patrick Vieira.
There you are.
Oh, no.
That's so politically correct. You're so predictable. I'm so disappointed. I'm leaving.
Well, go ahead,
Frank. Wait, Frank, the last question is for you. Did you take anyone out of the old timers game? I don't think you could catch anyone, could you? You had your groin issues.
You take anyone out of the old-timer game? No, I went on my own. The last time,
No, Frank, not if you took someone.
Did you kick somebody?
Not the +1. Who was the +1? Right, now get that right. So did you kick anyone in the game? Did you tackle them?
Yes. Did you kick somebody?
Did you foul anyone?
No. I never injured a player when I was professional. Why do you want me to do that after? No, of course not. No. I always paid attention to the physical aspect of the players, but I tried to kill him mentally.
Oh, I see. Yeah, exactly. I do like the who was your +1 for the game? Yeah. No, Elle McPherson. That's a public story, isn't it? You've told the Elle McPherson story before, Frank?
No. I know nothing to say about that. I thought it was that question about me, bringing someone.
Wait, you want to talk about? Wait a second. You want to talk about Henry, Vieira, and Cantona again? Is that what you want to do?
Right. Okay. That is it.
No, I don't talk with you. You're not just politically correct. I only talk to Robbo in that matter.
There we are. Perfect. I like Frank's new thing of pointing at the camera.
Yeah,
that's something that's involved. That's it. Thank you very much, guys.
At one point, we got a glance of his sandals too.
His sandals?
Yeah, so...
He's Derek Randall's.
You're in sandals, Frank?
I am with sandals?
Yeah.
Oh,
sandals?
No, show.
See?
Oh, there we go. More product placement.
Yeah.
Chelsea eateries. Oh, man. It'd be great if they weren't that make of shoes. Then they'd be in trouble. All right, then. That's it. Thank you very much. ESPN FC is back on your screens tomorrow as we count down to the end of International Week. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.